We know that Wanda Maximoff is going to move heaven and hell, and a few bits of reality itself to get Vision back. So what do you think she'd do to get her twins Wiccan and Speed back? There's a lot to look forward to in the MCU's Phase 4. Just existing at this point is enough to get excited about, but nothing has created more anticipation than the second Doctor Strange movie, and how it relates to the Disney Plus WandaVision series. With a quick glimpse of the Maximoff twins Wiccan and Speed, there's enough to indicate that maybe the real villain of Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness might be Wanda herself. After almost no news about the Marvel Cinematic Universe's Phase 4 outside a list of titles, the next big chapter for the shared universe is coming, and casting announcements, trailers, and of course rumors and theories have begun flowing again. Hooray! Reddit user TheAviator077 has examined the footage and come up with a theory that Wanda Maximoff may be the big bad of the second Doctor Strange, and it all comes down to a pair of twins that shouldn't be. TheAviator077 posits that the reality-bending efforts to bring Vision back will lead to even higher stakes when she tries to bring back her twins, Wiccan and Speed. The biggest source of speculation has been the second outing for the Sorcerer Supreme, Doctor Strange. The title alone has excited fans and theorists alike. Comic book worlds have been running on multiverses since the Flash ran into himself back in 1961 in the pages of Flash number 123. Ever since then, multiple universes have been used to tell stories of alternate versions of characters.
There are multiple realities, Peter. This is Earth, Dimension 616. I'm from Earth 833.
Clean up continuity, and occasionally resort the entire universes of characters all together. The last function is a big one for cinematic universes, and the DCEU and MCU are both betting big on the multiverse, giving their franchises big legs. At the center of Marvel's multiverse is of course the master of the mystical arts, Doctor Strange. In his first outing, magic was described as the manipulation of energy from other dimensions manifest in ours. The sorcerers use these powers to defend our universe from threats that might poke through from others. Like when Loki returned to town, it fell to Doctor Strange to check in with Thor about that kind of thing. It was the previous master of the mystical arts that explained how mucking about in time creates multiple realities, which, try as he may, Banner was unable to prevent. All of this is set to descend into madness in Doctor Strange's second outing, if the title is to be believed, and it looks like the Scarlet Witch is at the gooey center of the whole thing. Hopefully premiering in December. Disney hasn't given a specific date, just December, because a massive media corporation can't just say,
"Hi, Sarah, I'm working on it."
WandaVision will follow the misadventures of Wanda Maximoff, as she discovers she has the ability to bend realities, and if she can do that, she doesn't have to live with a deactivated Vision. Instead of working with Shuri and Wakanda to see if they can just rewire Vision, and she can infuse some of that Mind Stone tinted magic to restart the android, she's literally going to will Vision back into life. But she's not going to stop there, apparently. She's going to go all the way, creating a still alive Vision and a pair of adorable twins who just so happen to have some familiar powers, manipulation of magic and speed. Anyone would be distressed at the loss of their children, but when your distress leads you to creating those children out of your imagination, then you lose them? Well, that's some Edward Albee Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf level breakdown. Spoiler for Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf, the kid isn't real and that's why they're mean to each other. Wanda shares a central element with that masterpiece of American theater, in that Wiccan and Speed are made up too. Unlike the snarky academics though, she has the ability to make her delusions real. It's pretty clear that in doing this is going to cause some trouble. So much trouble, in fact, that they send Lieutenant Trouble herself, and all grown up and now working for S.W.O.R.D, Monica Rambeau, who comic fans know as one of the early people to carry the Captain Marvel title. It also looks like Wanda isn't going to take too kindly to someone telling her reality can't be whatever she wants it to be. Since we know that Wanda will play a big role in the second Doctor Strange, we can reason that it will be because of the shockwaves that come from her activities. Maybe she isn't able to retain a world with Vision in it, but she has a recollection of having children, and it'd be hard for her to not to try and make that real. If bringing back someone who existed breaks reality, imagine what happens when she tries to bring back twins that never existed. What makes us so sure that the twins don't really exist? Well, because no matter what origin story you use for Vision, it wouldn't mean he was built to, reproduce. The fact that he falls in love at all was never by design, and part of what made his relationship with Wanda remarkable. While other Avenger romances might have came and went, tough luck, Banner. The one between Wanda and Vision endures. It's also one that comes from the pages of the comics and not just the movie. Wanda and Vision are the Avengers couple. Outside of the love triangle between Logan, Scott Summers, and Jean Grey, there's no other love story between heroes as endearing as Wanda and Vision. Yes, Peter Parker's unquestionable love for MJ is legendary, but MJ doesn't moonlight as a superhero. The culmination of that long-lasting romance was a pair of children named William and Thomas, a pair of adorable children that were the product of Wanda and Vision's love, and Wanda's incredible ability to warp reality. As it turns out, the precarious boys were both the easiest to babysit, but also the most horrifying. Every time that Wanda and Vision went out to do their superhero thing, the twins would just kind of vanish, because they were a creation of her will. And if she wasn't there to will them, they didn't exist. But they weren't quite illusions either. When she was able to concentrate on their existence, they became living boys. And when Wanda finally had to admit they weren't real, that life energy continued to exist. That's how we got from a pair of twins that Wanda dreamed up out of nowhere to a pair of young Avengers named Wiccan and Speed. The Wiccan and Speed of the Young Avengers aren't strictly the kids dreamed up by Wanda, but instead Tommy Shepard and Billy Kaplan, who later find out that they're the spirits of the dreamed up twins manifest in real life, complete with superpowers. When Wanda warps reality, reality will occasionally rise to meet her, but it's what happened just prior to that relates to what's coming in the MCU. Wanda having a bit of a breakdown and trying to use her ability to reshape reality to undo tragedy is straight out of the comics as well. In the comics, she loses control of her powers and kills not only Vision, but Hawkeye and Ant-Man as well. These events in Avengers Disassembled meant that she lost her grip on reality, including remembering a time when she had a pair of twins, which she never really had. Doctor Strange had already tried to put a cap on her powers by teaching her how to use them. Now Professor Xavier was looking after the mutant Avenger, trying to contain her power using his. It didn't work out well. This is the core of the Aviator 077's theory. While we didn't get an Avengers Disassembled storyline, we did get Civil War, which, as Helman Zemo will tell you through a wry smile, did effectively disassemble the Avengers. Even more, instead of having a team of reality show superheroes blow up a city block, it was Crossbones blowing himself up, and Wanda unable to contain that explosion that led to the Sokovia Accords and the war between the heroes. To complete the circle, Wanda was forced to kill Vision herself in order to keep Thanos from getting a hold of the Mind Stone that was stuck in Vision's head and making him much more than just an android, but not so much that he could reproduce. Wanda did get to work out some of her emotions about that by being the only person so far to actually scare Thanos. Even Captain Marvel, who took a headbutt without a shrug, only managed to annoy him, but a super angry Scarlet Witch made him take on some more drastic measures.
Rain fire!
While she seemed to have made her peace with it while talking about the loss with Hawkeye, she clearly has not. You know, because of the show we're about to watch in December, where her and Vision go through the history of sitcoms as she tries to bring him back to life. Coulson got to die and come back twice, Loki 3 times. These are comic book characters, and it's Vision, not Uncle Ben. So how would all of this work in the MCU given the pieces we have? What would be the mechanics of the Aviator 077's theory? So we know that she's going to try and bring back Vision. We also know that this involves her losing a huge grip on reality, so that she starts putting it back together with the next best thing, television. She works her way from Father Knows Best to Family Ties, like someone who grew up on Nick at Night classic sitcom reruns. Perhaps some of that power is unleashed by the character Agnes, played by Kathryn Hahn. Agnes, who might be Agatha Harkness, the long-lived witch who showed Scarlet Witch that she wasn't just manipulating a chaotic world, but wielding actual magic. Or Agnes is instead Nightmare, living off the emotional pain and torment of Wanda, constantly gaining and losing her one true love over and over again, until her powers burst through the multiverse and allow Nightmare to attack our reality in our waking hours, and not just when we sleep. However it happens, all this reality warping first alerts S.W.O.R.D, the space arm of S.H.I.E.L.D. that aims to be more proactive in its protection of Earth, but also Doctor Strange, who takes it upon himself to protect this reality. In the process, Wanda has a vague recollection of her children, and now would think that Doctor Strange is trying to hide them from her, to steal their existence. So while Doctor Strange is trying to put Nightmare back in the bottle, so to speak, Wanda unleashes her full potential, becoming the Act 3 villain of the movie. But then the multiverse might come to everyone's rescue. Perhaps a man named Charles offers to take her to Genosha, because he has an inborn ability that might allow him to help her get a grip on what's real. No small task when you can make reality. Or maybe a man named Magnus claims a familiar relationship to her, and he has a friend named Charles that can help. And with that, WandaVision leads to Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, which leads to House of M and mutants in the MCU. Applause, everyone, applause! In the end, Doctor Strange fixes the multiverse by putting a cap on Scarlet Witch's powers, but it won't be enough to prevent one more big rewrite. And that's the shape of it. What do you think? Is this the arc for Doctor Strange and Scarlet Witch? What do you think Doctor Strange will do to fix the multiverse? Will it be all Spider-Man's fault instead? Way to go, Pete. Let us know in the comments, and while you're there, be sure to subscribe to CBR to protect your multiverse with the latest videos in your inbox.